Alexis Medina, and today I'm breaking down something that comes up a lot during negotiation, which is seller concessions. We're going to go over what they are, how do they work, and when you should offer them. So we're going to keep it simple. What are they? Seller concessions are basically credits or contributions you agree to pay to help the buyer with their costs. So instead of lowering the price, you're offering money toward expenses that the buyer has to pay to close the deal. This can include things like part or all of the buyer's closing costs, title fees, escrow fees, prepaid property taxes or insurance, loan origination or discount points to buy down their interest rate. Just think of concessions as an incentive to make the deal more affordable and attractive for the buyer. So now how do they work? So here's how it usually plays out. When the buyer writes their offer, they can request a specific amount of concessions. For example, seller to pay up to $8,000 of buyer's closing costs. If you agree, that amount is credited towards the buyer at closing. It comes out of your proceeds, not paid up front, and it shows up on the final settlement statement. Now let's say you sell your home for $500,000 and you agree to $8,000 in concessions. The buyer still pays $500,000, but you net $492,000 because you're helping them cover that cost. It's important to know there are limits on concessions based on the buyer's loan type. So for example, FHA loans allow up to 6% of the purchase price, conventional 3 to 6%, and VA loans have their own rules. Now, when do we give seller concessions? There are a few common situations where you might consider offering concessions. Number one is going to be to attract more buyers. Say the market's slow and buyers are tight on cash, offering help with closing costs can make your home stand out. Also, to keep the deal together after inspection. So if repairs come up, instead of fixing everything, you can credit the buyer funds so they can handle the work after closing. Also, to help the buyer qualify, sometimes concessions are used to buy down the buyer's interest rate, making their monthly payment more affordable. Just remember that concessions are always negotiable. Just because the buyer asks for them does not mean you have to say yes, but sometimes it makes sense if it helps you reach your bottom line price or close faster. End of the day, seller concessions are simply a tool to create a win-win deal